Yo, what's up, and welcome back to school. I need to welcome you to becoming part of the Sci Fam, and that is us that use the SciHub to learn a little bit about science. So, welcome to the SciHub. Now, I am a real human, I promise. Here's my school picture. I am a teacher in Fort Collins, Colorado, and I create the SciHub for my students. And since the coronavirus is definitely in the news and in our lives and affecting our lives, I decided that the best thing that we could learn as scientists is to learn about viruses and specifically the coronavirus. So this is going to be a distance learning journey that is curated through this website that we call the SciHub. So what is this place? Well, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 different playlists, each on a different page on this website. You'll start on the green circle one, you'll move into the blue square. From the blue square, you'll move into the black diamond, and from the black diamond into the double black diamond. Now, if you're a skier, you might understand kind of what this all means, but if not, let me explain. And even if you are, it might be helpful because, hey, this is school. This isn't skiing. So you're probably like, how the heck do you shred the gnar at school? Well, let me explain. So if you and me went skiing or snowboarding, I like to snowboard. I've been snowboarding since I was in middle school. So for the past like 20 years, it's been a long time. We could all go to the same ski resort regardless of if you've been skiing for the last 20 years or if you're just a beginner or have never even been to a mountain before. So what we would do is we'd all go up to the top. And for all the beginners out there, ski resorts have these runs. They just kind of snake their way across the hill. They never go very steep because they're going across the hill instead of down the hill. And these runs are way easier, or the easiest runs on the mountain. And those ones are called the green circle runs. And that's how people know that they're getting themselves into a situation where it's going to be an easy way from top to bottom. Now, if you wanted to try a little bit of a challenge, once you've got those basic skills down, then you could take a blue square run. And a blue square run goes more down the mountain than the green circle does. And sometimes there's some trees, but not very many, that you have to avoid. There's some rollers you have to kind of be able to control your speed with. You definitely have to be able to turn in order to get down a blue square. You have to be able to stop and control yourself. And once you have those skills mastered, then you might want to even step it up even more and try out a black diamond ski run once you have those skills. So again, we're all at the top and we could start down the runs, but we'd want to choose the runs that are most appropriate for us. So if you're an expert, you could then take those skills and just bomb the ski hill almost straight down. And that's where you're going to find the steepest runs. It's also where you're going to find moguls. Sometimes you'll even find some tree skiing on those black diamond runs. Now, for all those people out there that just can't get enough and they want even more, yeah, that's right, ski resorts, they have these areas that they designate as double black diamond. And double black diamond is going to be like the terrain park where you go and maybe hit some jumps and do some airs and you do some things that are, special skills on the mountain. Maybe even you go off the back side of the mountain, which is where what we call the backcountry skiing is, or you find the area that's this giant, super steep area with tons and tons of trees. That also might be the double black diamond area. Now, you might be thinking, well, this is school, this isn't skiing, so how the heck does this apply? Well, let me explain. There is different depths of knowledge. When we learn something, at first we can just recall the facts, and then we can actually apply the skill and the concept, and then we can use our thinking to see how it applies and relates to different situations. And then in the end, we're able to, create stuff, design things using the skills that we learn. Let me explain to you the different types of tasks that you'll encounter when you enter the website. And then I'll actually enter the website and kind of show you around a little bit. So one of the types of tasks are these things that we call science notebook pages. And I like to abbreviate them as SCI, capital N, capital B, standing for science notebook. And sometimes I'll write pages to let you know science notebook pages. Well, you actually need to record, meaning get a pen and paper. You need to record the notes on actual factual paper. And I'll tell you why in a few minutes, why those paper copies are going to become really important for you. So if you have a notebook you want to start, if you have your notebook from school, and if you can start those or you can use those. And if you don't have a notebook, what I would actually suggest doing is getting a piece of paper. It could be lined paper or computer paper. Lay it horizontally, fold it in half, cut it in half, and then each of these halves when you get back to school can actually be taped into a composition notebook, and you can create your own little notebook, or you can add these notes to your interactive notebook at school. Okay, now the reason that you need to actually record these notes on actual factual paper is because you're going to use them as references on different assignments, definitely on your assessments. When you're tested, use these pages, refer to these pages to explain the information, and then also on the quizzes. Most of the quizzes are actually built based on those science notebook pages, so you're going to want those papers so you can see what the answers are to the quizzes. Use them for that. That's why we take notes, is so we can use them later on. Okay, another type of assignment that you're going to encounter is going to be an assignment that when you get it, it's just going to be a Google Doc. Now, it's going to be an assignment that is actually in the view-only format because it's already been created for you. What you need to do is you need to read the instructions. Don't just jump to the questions and think that you just need to answer the questions, because the instructions will help you understand how to answer the questions. Read the instructions and then follow those directions. So if it tells you to go to a link to do some research, then do that before you try to answer the questions. And then you need to type your responses. So you're going to answer the questions on that document. You're going to type your responses in the boxes. Now, what I mean by boxes is that when these assignments were created, we put a box in there. And you'll see the box, and then you'll just put your cursor in there. And once your cursor's in there, you can then start typing. And when you type, this is how your teacher will know what your response is because your response will be in the box. So take a look for those boxes, answer your questions in those boxes, use the boxes as your guide. Now, I know that they're all view only. Okay, your teacher doesn't need to know that. We already know that all the assignments are view only. The way we get around this then is that the assignments are going to be placed in your classroom, your online learning platform, probably Google Classroom. And when you go to that view only file, you're going to go up to the very top corner of that file. So if you think about a file, you know how there's like those menus up at the top? There's like file, edit, format, and so on. Go to that file menu. And if you go down that file menu, if you look down in the middle, it says make a copy. Once you make a copy, you can then edit that assignment, and that's when you can then type in the boxes and put your answers on that assignment. Once you've edited that assignment, you're going to then turn in your copy of the assignment, not the original, but the one that you then put your answers on. You're going to turn that back into Google Classroom. So just know that when it gives you a Google Doc and it's a view only file, you need to go to File, make a copy, make your own copy of that assignment, and then you'll turn that into Google Classroom. It'll make sense when you get there, trust me. I can even make a little video to show you exactly where the file make a copy is. So keep an eye out for that in your first Google Doc assignment so you can get some guidance. Now, I know y'all love the YouTube, and I do too. That's how I'm accessing and sharing a lot of the stuff with y'all. So something I'm asking students to do in this module, in this unit for learning about coronavirus, is to binge on some YouTube videos. Now, they're not just any YouTube videos. The videos are related to the topics that we're learning. So you need to watch the videos and then answer the multiple choice questions. It's a Google form with a bunch of multiple choice questions. It just lets us know that you've actually watched the video. And so after you submit that form, all your answers will be shown. Go back through it and revise, meaning like change your incorrect answers and then make them correct so that you earn 100%. So maybe at first you get like a 97% on the assignment because you accidentally chose one wrong answer. Change that answer and it will change your score to 100%, and then you'll be done with that assignment. It's not a test, so it's okay to revise and change your answers, but watch the videos, learn the information, because these videos are going to be really useful when you get to your assessments, because you're going to refer back to this information on your assessments to help beef up your answers. Okay, so at the end of each of those pages, remember those pages, the green circle page, the blue square page, the black diamond and double black diamond page. At the end of the green circle, before you can move on to the blue square, you need to do the level up quiz, because you're about to level up, so we need to make sure you've got all the green circle info. At the end of the blue square, you're going to have a level up quiz. I abbreviate those with LUQ for level up quiz. And at the end of the black diamond, there's also a level up quiz. Since the double black diamond is the end of of the pathway, there is no level up quiz on that one. Now, speaking of level up quizzes, let's take a look. Level up quizzes, you need to use your notebook pages, and actually when they were created with the idea that the only way to answer those questions or to get those answers is in your science notebook pages. So that's why you want to write those down so you can have those laying out in front of you when you take your level up quizzes. And then, if you don't get 100% your first try, you need to retake it until you get 100%. Something you might be noticing along this whole explanation is that you need to constantly revise. Revise your score until you score 100%. This is all about mastery. We don't want you to just get a little bit of information, move on and get a little bit more, move on and get a little bit more. We want to make sure you've mastered it at every single level. So when you turn something in, your teacher might give it back to you and return it to you with a score of 2 out of 4, meaning it's not 100% yet. Go into that assignment, read your teacher's comments that they left on your assignment, try again, change your answers until you get a 4 out of 4 or until you get 100% on that assignment. Now, the final thing you'll do before you can move from the green circle page onto the blue square page and from the blue square onto the black diamond is you need to take an assessment over that information. So you'll take an assessment before you move between these pages. Assessments are a little bit different, so stick with me here. Reference the info or takeaways from your assignments. See, some of us have to just learn on the fly here, and we're not all perfect. So when we take assessments, we need to reference our info and takeaways from your assignments and also reference your science notebook pages so that you can really give a nice content-rich response. You need to turn in your first attempt. Just give it a try. Turn it in. Your teacher will then score it and provide comments. They will leave comments there on the actual doc. Then use your teacher's comments that they give you, like how to improve your answers. Use your teacher's comments to revise. Yes, you can revise assessments, but you only get one revision opportunity on assessments. So basically, you do your best on the assessment. You get comments from your teacher, and then you revise it, and then that's your score. Now, assessments are going to be worth 60% of your grade. At least that's how I'm doing it, and most likely your teacher is going to follow this process too of if we're asking you to prove what you know, that should be mainly what your grade is made out of, or at least a majority. These assignments up here, these different tasks, science notebook pages, Google Docs, YouTube binges, and level up quizzes, since you can revise them until you get 100%, these are only worth 40% of your grade. We call these assignments because you can constantly revise them. So that's how your grade will kind of shake out here in the end. Now, something to consider here is time management. We're not in school, so just follow your teacher's guidance. If they tell you to get a certain amount of work done in a certain amount of time, use that as your pace. But please take your time and care for yourself. Okay, don't go crazy trying to get through these assignments. Take some brain breaks in between. Care for yourself and your family or your loved ones there. Because it's really important in these times that we're just not hyper-focused on school, but we're still taking care of our community. So use your time wisely, please. Okay, let's dive in to the coronavirus content. Okay, the goal here is to make virus education go viral. All right, there's a lot of questions that are circulating in the media and in our communities right now. And so this whole unit, from the green circle to the blue square to the black diamond, is designed to answer these questions. And I use these questions as guiding questions so you know by the end of the unit you should be able to answer these questions. So let's take a look. You're going to know and investigate, how do viruses work and what are they on a microscopic level, if you could zoom in and see them. And then also, are viruses living things? Okay, what is a vaccine and how is it different from antiviral drugs? We'll also investigate, how does coronavirus interact with humans on a cellular level? We'll investigate, what is the difference between all these terms that are being thrown around, like SARS-CoV-1, SARS-CoV-2, MERS-CoV, coronavirus, COVID-19. we'll actually define and understand why those terms were created and made. We'll investigate what are the signs and symptoms of the virus, what types of medical treatments are available, and why is everyone freaking out over the coronavirus? Yeah, we'll get into that too. And hopefully you'll be able to be an expert in your family and in your community.